All right, so she's saying this one is Turo. What they're not telling you.
Mm-hmm.
You have experience with Turo. You've
Yeah.
been doing it. You know what I mean, a couple weeks now, so you could talk about what
I
happened
know
so
too.
far,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, just what you know in general, right? So
Okay.
let's see what she's saying and what you feel about it.
Hey everyone, hope you're doing well. So the intent for today's video is to really talk to you guys about some of the pitfalls and shortcomings that can...
I just want to say one thing before she gets into this. She should really do something about like behind her, like the books aren't really stacked right. I don't know, is that like a little Crayola case?
Yeah.
And it's just
It's
you
not
know,
aesthetically pleasing to
yeah,
the
you
eye.
would just think that it would. I like the frame and the shot. I just feel like she could throw something in there to just. But that's besides the point.
really put you in a bad position when it comes to doing Turo. I've been seeing a lot of your guys' messages in my DMs and in the comments, and you know, you guys are all talking about how you just got started with the car, or maybe you're growing your fleet, but many of you guys got involved this year in Turo, and it's going to be a phenomenal year for the marketplace. There's no doubt about it. We are just seeing this entire segment of car sharing just completely explode, and of course with the car rental
So we have to stop it. I'm just practicing.
shortages and car manufacturing production being delayed, it's really feeding into the success of the Turo marketplace. So it's very exciting. However, with that, of course, with any opportunity comes the risk, right? And you always want to evaluate the risk.
I like that she start off top by talking about the risk, because that's what I'm about, right? So I like to know my risk versus reward.
Yeah.
To know if something's worth it. You know what I mean?
Hedging your bets. That's
Hedging your bet. And just, but even before you hedge your bet, like I'm just trying to figure out like what's going on here, because you hedge your bet after
you figure out
you in it, and then you're like, okay, like let me do this just in case this fall apart.
Yeah.
But it's just like I feel like I don't hear nobody else really talk about the risk of Turo, either if you finance, if you lease, if you go out and buy a bunch of cars. Just they just did something with yours, right?
Yeah, when they just took it off. You talking about the last thing they did? Yeah, they just took it off the market because of safety issues.
Yeah.
And they said they just canceled it, and we gotta wait till Mercedes-Benz send out a letter or something. I gotta get from them to say that everything is good with the safety issues.
So they delisted it.
Yeah, they
until they fix it. We call Mercedes-Benz, and they're saying
you still gotta wait.
You have to wait.
It's pending.
Yeah, it's pending. It's not. There's not even a fix for it. Now imagine if you had went out and got like 6 Mercedes-Benz at one time. You got the car notes coming in 6,000-7,000 in a month, and they've delisted all your cars.
Out of nothing I can do.
Yeah, and you would just have to wait. You don't know if it's going to be another month. You don't know if it's going to be another week.
Yeah.
But you don't have enough control to go too far into like debt and overhead. You know what I'm saying? So I like
to reward. So in this video, I'm going to go over some of the major pitfalls that I've experienced over the 6+ years that I've been doing this, and hopefully you guys can learn from the things that I've gone through and not fall into one of those positions, because it can be a horrible outcome for you. So it's very, very important that you really evaluate the landscape of being involved with something like Turo and what all it really entails. So the unique thing about the Turo marketplace is that I actually consider it to be a high-risk peer-to-peer marketplace. There's tons of marketplaces that are peer-to-peer like Uber, but particularly with something like Turo and Airbnb, I find them to be far more riskier, because you are actually giving up control of your asset that you own to a stranger, essentially, right? Whereas when you're doing something like Uber, you're still in control. You're in the driver's seat, and somebody is just simply taking part with you while you are present. Whereas
that's my whole thing, just having control. I don't know why that just gives me a peace of mind. Like, I get so much anxiety when I don't have control of things, and that's where giving my baby car to a stranger, especially when I found out that the first person that was booking the car was 21 years old, just got their license, and that just gave me anxiety. Thank God he didn't get it, but just knowing that you can really just be giving your car to somebody that don't know how to drive, especially in New York, scary.
As with Turo and Airbnb, you are literally handing off your keys to a stranger. Hopefully they're well vetted, but you can never 100% entirely control the situation or the outcome of how that experience might go. And there's all kinds of people out there in the world. So it's very important to really think about the risk from sort of a broad perspective so that you can put systems into place to handle these things and make the best possible decisions when you get involved in marketplaces like Turo. So in this video, I'm going to go over why it's so important that you make the best possible decisions for the type of car that you buy, how you buy a car, how you get out of it, and how you deal with the things that you can't really anticipate for, like changes in market trends and accidents, and your car is getting crashed or stolen. So let's get into it. First off, let's talk about cars. The main thing with cars is the fact that they are depreciating assets. Now, of course, we all know if you buy a brand new car right off the lot, the minute you drive off, it depreciates a ton, right? And as people continue to drive your car,
I feel like people have been saying that for a long time, and at some point somebody's going to come in and have to address that issue. I think that's a big issue. And people are, somebody at some point in the future, whether it be 10 years from now, somebody will address that. You know what I'm saying?
What do you mean?
Just the whole depreciation aspect with a car. Because everybody's buying cars so much, and just the fact of how much money you lose just buying a car.
So you're saying that they're going to have to adjust that? Like they shouldn't depreciate?
I feel like somebody will, I feel like it's a problem.
Okay.
And I feel like with problems, there's millions of people in the world that's always looking for a solution to whatever problems we all have.
Gotcha.
And I feel like one of the major problems right now, you know, not like global warming, but one of the major issues is the depreciation of a car, and the fact that, like she says, as soon as you drive it off a lot, it's down 30% right away.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't have to, I feel like it's just something in me that feels like it doesn't have to be that way. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like...
What else depreciates like that?
Everything electronic. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I go and, well, maybe not an iPhone. iPhone gonna hold its value.
Okay.
It might go down. How much would it go down?
The iPhone?
From when you buy it in AT&T and walk out the store. And then if you have to go put it back on like OfferUp or Craigslist to sell it, or eBay, it's still gonna... The most recent iPhone is still gonna hold its value.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So I know cars, boats, maybe like anything like automotive.
Yeah, any
car and it accumulates miles, it's really going to go down in value quite quickly. So you need to account for the fact that this is a depreciating asset, and there is some risk to that. So how do you take that, knowing what you know about cars being depreciating, and really offset your risk? So first is thinking about how do you buy a car and what is your exit strategy out of that vehicle. So most commonly, I see people do this in a few different ways. One is that they buy the car outright, and that's totally fine. But if you are going to buy a car outright, one of the things that you want to really stop and think about is how long will it take for you to break even for the cost of the vehicle.
I don't understand how buying a car outright changes that it just went down in value. It doesn't matter if you loan it or, you know what I mean, like, either because you're giving them the money up front when you buy it outright. If you get a loan, you're giving them the money over time, but the car doesn't change. It's still depreciating. The value doesn't change because you bought it cash.
Yeah.
You feel me? So I don't understand.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And start turning a profit. Is it a year? Is it 2 years? And at that point in time, when you can actually start turning a profit, will your car still remain competitive in the market to where the profit that you are earning, the revenue that you are earning, is worth your while? So that's a consideration that you want to make when it comes to buying a vehicle outright. The second method that I see...
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Because like, now it took you 2 years to get the money back from what you spent on the car, but now your car's popping, it's back, you got your money back, and all of a sudden now it's too old to rent. You know what I'm saying? So now people are not looking for it because it took you 2 years. Now they're not looking for the 20. Now let's say it's like 2019 and you bought it 2016 or something, it was already old when you bought it.
Yeah.
You feel me? So I think that's a good.
Yeah, it's fair.
See a lot of people doing is financing a vehicle, whether it's new or used, or it's a demo vehicle, a service loan, or whatever it might be. Financing a vehicle means that you will typically carry a loan that is usually on average about 5 years. So let's say you get into a car. Maybe you didn't choose the best possible car for getting into Turo. You list it on the marketplace. It's barely making its payment. Maybe it's not even covering its payment. What do you do? Or in a second scenario, you finance a car, it performs very well, you're doing great first year, second year, but you have a 5-year loan on this car. What happens when that car really starts accumulating a lot of miles throughout the year? Let's say maybe you live in an area where a lot of people are road tripping, there's a lot of destinations around you, so your cars accumulate a lot of miles, maybe 20,000 per year. What happens when you get to year 3 or year 4 where you have 60, 80,000 miles on the car? You start having maintenance issues, and then a lot of variable costs begins to enter the picture that you can't really anticipate for, and it starts costing you a lot of money. What if you need to get out of that vehicle? How do you get out of it if you carry a loan on the car? Maybe you didn't buy it in the best possible way, so now you're stuck with negative equity. What do you do in that situation? And then finally, I see a lot of people leasing cars, right? And I'm personally a fan of leasing. Now, leases are great because you have a clear exit out of the car because there is a set time frame for which you will have that car. It could be 24 months, it could be 3 years, whatever the terms might be. But what if you get into a lease and it doesn't perform well? Can you roll out of that car and into something else? Are you working with a brand that is great at leases and that is known for leases?
I know like the pandemic changed a lot of things, so you can't just hop out of leases like you used to. I know that there are like a lot of sites that where like, I think it's like Flip a Lease, or there are a lot of car lease sites where you can get a lease from somebody else and offload a lease. So like because I seen a few years ago I was thinking about buying like a Lamborghini, and so I was like, let me look at like who's trying to get rid of a Lambo, right? And what the cost is. And I was looking at leases that people were trying to get out of for the Lambo. You know what I mean? So like, let's say they have like 9 months left, and you could go and, you know what I mean, something like that. But they usually pay you to take their lease, so you would still be at a loss. Because like, let's say there's like the leases. Let's say for them it'll be like $2,000 a month, right? So now it's $2,000 a month. It's 10 months left, so now it's 20,000 left on the lease. So you're buying 20,000 debt basically.
Yeah.
Right. So what they'll do is they'll give you like let's say like 4,000. So they'll be like, you know, well, I'll pay two of these months.
Yeah.
So you're buying the 20,000, but you're basically getting 24,000.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or actually, no.
So would you do that to
16,000
like to Turo? Like, say somebody's trying to get out of a Lambo lease, and they got like 10. You think that would be a wise thing to do?
I feel like if you're gonna
Turo,
like everything takes nuance. Well, you gotta remember these leases, especially on something like a Lambo, it'll be like 500 miles a month. So you can't go over that monthly. So like the whole thought of even trying to have people out there, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do Turo. I would might put it on Turo because maybe people are looking on Turo to do like films and stuff.
Yeah.
But I would more lean towards trying to let people rent my stuff to do like a photo shoot, a film, a music video, things like that, where they're not actually driving it. You know what I'm saying? Like we rented a car not too long ago, and I forgot, it was like an old car.
You can always, put the miles to like mad low if they rent it to drive.
Yeah.
Like they can't go with 50 if they do 25 cents per mile.
Yeah, but I mean 50. By the time they pick it up and take it back to you, they just paid you 3,000 for nothing. They might as well have shot them something with it. That's all. So I just feel like that's kind of like what I think of when I think of like leasing in general. You already know.
Yeah.
Let's see where she at.
So these are all really things that you want to think about. Now, when it comes to financing cars,
that's what I was gonna say. They changed it so in the pandemic you can't. All the companies that used to let you out of your lease early, Mercedes-Benz, like you can't. They don't. They're not offering that.
Damn.
Yeah, so it's just like, that's just what I wanted to say. So the pandemic kind of changed how flexible that option is, you know?
They're really getting into any car. One of the things is that you have to make sure you know what your exit is out of the car. Because most of you out there finance cars, I'll leave you guys with this tip. One of the things that I've seen to work well, and I'll be doing a video on how I'm about to sell one of my cars, most likely to CarMax, and I'll run you guys through the numbers, is when you're getting into a car to offset your depreciation, I would highly, highly recommend that you purchase a car that you can at least get 18% off of MSRP, if not 20. Typically, if you can land at that mark, that's going to allow you to really prevent yourself from ending up with too much negative equity on that car should you end up in a situation to where you need to get out of it.
I feel like I like how she be. It's like she know her stuff. Like she did a lot of research.
Yeah, she's hedging. Like she said, what they're not telling you. So she's doing exactly the opposite of like what we just saw the guy talk about the boat.
Yeah.
She's actually breaking down to you like what's gonna happen if you need to, you know what I mean? Like it's not like just go get 6 jet skis, go get 6 cars.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's not practical. It's almost like you never even did you actually do this?
Yeah.
Because if you did do it, you would be kind of more cautious of how you tell people to move,
right?
Because everything is based on so many different factors, like you said before: location, laws, regulations, things like that, weather, all of that. With the car thing, though, she said something how most people are going to be trying to finance, and then she said something else I was going to talk about. Actually, let's go right back.
She said some of the MSRP.
Oh, okay, yeah, that was it. That MSRP. So we know right now, used cars are, like, I don't know if it's because the inventory is low on new cars, so used cars are overpriced.
Right.
So you're not getting anything 18% under MSRP.
Yeah.
At all.
At all.
You know what I'm saying? But like, I think it's a combination of 3 things: people getting back outside all at once, right? Because the pandemic is pretty much like lockdown is over, and then you have Turo. So now people are buying cars to Turo. Every time we look at a video, they're talking about buying 10 cars, 10 used ones. So you got Turo, the pandemic is over, and you have the supply chain being messed up, as where people can't, you know what I mean, people can't get new cars.
Yeah.
Because the shipments from China coming over mad slow, they get messed up. Remember we saw the ship get stuck in the barge and mess up the whole world supply chain.
Yep. All right, let's see.
So basically, what I really want to sort of get across to you guys is no matter which way you go, you really want to think about where are you exposed to any potential financial risk. Because if it doesn't go well, if you didn't do the best job at buying a vehicle, if you didn't do the best job at doing market research and figuring out what was the best car for your area, you could end up in a position to where maybe you can't make your payments. Your car gets repossessed, you end up with bad credit, maybe you have to file for bankruptcy. These are all real life stories that I personally know of from other hosts who have been in the Turo marketplace, and these things are very real and they do happen. So doing something like Turo creates a lot of financial risk, but there's a lot of reward to it if you do it correctly. A lot of you guys have been asking if I do one-on-ones or if I have, you know, some kind of a course or something like that. You can check my description down below and check out my private community where I go in depth about all of these things. All the details are down below. So kind of going back to really understanding depreciation and eliminating risk, you want to think outside of the box and what other resources are available to you. Now, one way to offset the risk of depreciation on a vehicle, which is going to happen no matter what when you're on Turo because just of how many miles a car will accumulate, is that typically depreciation can be a tax write-off. So this is something that you want to take up with your CPA. You know, have the car registered under your business.
She's talking depreciation a lot, right? I feel like the math I would like to do on that is like, how much does a car cost and how much am I going to make on it in 1 year in Turo? You know what I mean? Because if the car costs $20,000 and you make $20,000 the first year, you're already in profit. You know what I'm saying? So depreciation don't even matter at that point.
Yeah.
Because if you bought it for 20,000, you make back the 20,000 in the first year. Not everything after that is profit. So what she's saying is, if you buy the car for 20,000, but you only make 3,000 the first year, 3,000 the second year, 3,000 the third year, and now the car that you bought for 20 is worth 12,000, and now it's not even making the 3,000 no more because it's too old, right? So, but I just realized she's talking a lot about depreciation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And find out how you can take advantages of something that would seem like it's a downside to doing something like Turo could actually end up working in your favor. So that is one way to sort of tackle the risk.
We gotta review shorter videos.
Yeah.
This is like halfway done, and I feel like we've been right.
Yeah.
Of buying cars and getting onto Turo and just making sure that your numbers are accurate and that you can get out of a car should you need to.
This is what I'm saying. She's rambling a little bit. What are the few things that you notice, or what concerns you the most about the Turo?
For me, it's the miles, because I want to lease.
Yeah. And
this going over the miles, that's one of my main concerns. And just renting it to just underage, like not underage, but irresponsible. To me, that's 21-year-olds.
Yeah.
And
you could set the age, but yeah.
Yeah. I wish I can vet the people. I know that's like not racist. What is it? What's like prejudice. But if I can gauge the kind of caliber of people that would take care of the car.
That's what the reviews are for.
Yeah.
So you don't want to rent to anybody with less than, like, let's say a year from now you've been doing Turo and everything's going good, and then you're like, I don't rent to anybody who has less than 15 reviews or lower than a 4.5
But
star rating.
how do you can't set that?
Well, no, but you don't have to accept it.
You don't?
No,
I didn't have a choice with the last one.
Oh, okay. I don't think you
He
don't have
just
to.
rented it.
You don't have to accept everything because that's what the reviews are for.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think you have to. You probably have it set to automatic because the thing is, what if you don't have the car? Let's say it's in the shop. Yeah. You don't have to delist it every time. You could just make it so, just like Airbnb. Airbnb is they let people book right away. They let you letters so people could book.
Okay.
Or they have to talk to you first.
I gotta look into that because I didn't know.
So but it just comes up higher in the search if you're gonna let them just go ahead and book. You know what I'm saying?
Well, so those are my three main.
Yeah, from hearing her talk, I feel like my main concern of Turo is everything that she was talking about, like getting out of cars but being upside down on the loans.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I feel like Turo is perfect for if you, and this goes back to me saying like how everybody just get how they live. Like if you like work on cars, if you're like a car dealer, you know what I'm saying? Even though now you're depreciating on your cars even more because maybe you was gonna sell that for 18, now you can't because the miles got ran up on Turo over the past 6 months. So it's like the depreciation now is coming down. So let's say you don't let Turo people run it up 15,000 miles. Now you have to take the value of the car down $5,000.
Yeah.
But did you make $5,000 within that 15,000 mile run? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now you might be at the net. It's always just so much to what's going on that you only learn sometimes after you bump your head. You know what I'm saying? But when I think of Turo, that's what I think of. And a lot of things she's saying is like what we already know and talk about. But there's a lot of gurus online that they don't talk about this stuff. And they don't say this. They just say, "Yo, go get 100 cars."
Go get it.
And
I'm doing it.
Wait, who says go get it?
Go get it. You go get it.
see how they throwing shots at me? Yeah, they throwing shots at me. Listen, I got two different advices. You know what I'm saying? It's always depend on where you at. You know what I'm saying? If you at the absolute bottom, anything goes. It doesn't matter. You gotta go get it. You know what I'm saying? Like it don't matter about messing up your credit if it's messed up. If you know what I mean? Like whatever you can do at that point, you do it. You know what I'm saying? And I got that just from You know what I mean? Just but if you're in a position where like, you know what I'm saying, like let's say your credit and stuff is already right, to go get a bunch of cars on it that you may not be able to pay for is, you know what I mean, it's something that could hurt you for a longer period of time, and then you can't even keep the cars anyway. So that's all I say. But yeah, we'll definitely have to speak on and touch on Turo again in the future, right? But for now, we out.